In Lesson 45, you'll be learning about range, median, mode, and mean. And what these are just different operations you perform on a set of numbers. They're the fundamentals of something called statistics. And statistics is a branch of mathematics where different numbers and different quantities are compared. It's a real important thing that scientists use, and it helps them to compare different results that they have and see if their numbers are really useful or not. Statistics is also used a lot in sports, like batting averages and win-loss percentages and things like that. Now, like I said, range, median, mode, and mean, those are different operations that you would perform on a set of numbers. For example, look at this set of 7 numbers that I have on the board. And let's say those were pitching speeds for like a Little League baseball team. Those are the average pitching speeds of 7 different pitchers. Now range, all that is the difference between the lowest number and the highest number. So the range in this set of numbers, that would just be 67 minus 45 is equal to 22. So that would be the range for that set of numbers, is 22. Median, that's just the middle number in a set of numbers. So when you have an odd number of numbers like this, we have 7 numbers, that's right in the middle. That would be the 4th number, or 61 is the median. Now, if we had an even number of numbers, you'd have to average the middle 2 numbers together to figure out what the median was, because you wouldn't have like an exact middle if you have an even number of numbers. Mode, all that is the number that occurs the most number of times in a set of numbers. And again, just like the median was 61, the mode is 61 as well, because 61 occurs twice. Now you can have more than one mode in a set of numbers. If there was like another 45 in here or something, you could have 45 and 61. It would be called bimodal, or 2 modes in that set of numbers. Mean, all that is the average. If you know how to figure out an average, you add up all the numbers and you divide by however many numbers there are. So here we'd add up all these numbers and divide by 7. And so the mean of those numbers is about 56.6 miles per hour. Now, you won't see range, median, mode, and mean a whole lot in algebra. And on the SAT test, the test that you take to get into college, they have range, median, mode, and mean on those tests. And so it'll be good to be familiar with them and to try to remember what they mean. So range, that's the difference between the highest and lowest number in a set of numbers. Median, that's the middle number. In an even set of numbers, you have to average the middle 2 numbers to get the median. Mode is the number that occurs the most times in a set. And then mean is just the average. It's just another word for average. And so these 4 operations, these are just things that we do with a set of numbers to help us better describe what's happening within that set of numbers. Let's go ahead and do a practice problem. In practice problem A, I have a set of numbers there, and I want you to find the range, median, mode, and mean for those. Now, the best thing to do first is to get them in order from lowest to highest. And they're almost in that order, but let's just go ahead and rearrange 11, 19, 21, 21, 23, and 25. Okay, so the range, that's the difference in the lowest, between the highest and the lowest number. So that'd be 25 minus 11 is 14. The median, that's the middle number. Now we have 6 numbers there, and so that would be between the 3rd and the 4th, the average of the 3rd and the 4th. Well, the 3rd and the 4th are the same, so the median is just going to be 21. And then the mode is the same as the median. It's also going to be 21, because 21 occurs the most number of times in that set of numbers. Then, lastly, the mean. That's just the same thing as the average, so we need to add up all of those numbers. There's 6 of them. We add them all up, divide by 6. I'll give you a minute to try to figure that out. You should end up with about 120 divided by 6 would be 20. So the mean of that set of numbers is 20. Now, a set of numbers, like in science, a lot of times you're doing an experiment and you're collecting data or you're collecting numbers. And if you're repeating the same experiment over and over, you would hope that your numbers would be similar if it's the same exact experiment. And so a scientist who is doing an experiment collecting a large amount of numbers, they would want in their set of numbers the median, the mode, and the mean to be almost all the same number. That tells them that their experiment is doing good. There aren't a whole lot of numbers that are real low compared to the mean, and there aren't a whole lot of numbers that are real high compared to the mean. A good distribution of numbers in a data set would have a median, mode, and mean almost all the same. And so like our problem there in A, the median, mode, and mean are almost all the same. So that's a good distribution of numbers. Let's do one more problem. This one says that the mean or average of 4 numbers is 7. And 3 of the numbers are 2, 5, and 11. What is the 4th number? Well, think about what you do when you figure out the mean. You total up all the numbers and you divide it by how many numbers there are. And that gives you your mean or your average. So we could just think of this, the total of the numbers, in this case we have 4 of them, that equals 7. Now we have a algebra equation there, right? And we can take that equation and multiply both sides by 4. And we see that the total is 28. The total of all the numbers, if we added all 4 up, that's equal to 28. Now they gave us 3 of the numbers. They want us to find out what the 4th number's value is. So those 3 numbers are 2, 5, and 11. Well, if we just add that up, 2 and 5 is 7, plus 11 is 18. We can subtract 18 from the total, and we get 10. That 4th number would be equal to 10. So a problem like that is a little bit tricky, but you just have to think about what you know. You know how to calculate the mean. The mean is just adding up all the numbers' values, dividing by how many numbers there are, and that gives you the average. In this case, we knew what the average was. We knew we had 4 numbers. We didn't know what the total was. So we just did 7 times 4 is 28 to get the total, then subtracted out the other 3 numbers to get that 4th unknown number. So just to review again, if you have a set of numbers, the mean, that's the average of those numbers. The median, that's the middle number in that set. The mode, that's the number that occurs the most number of times in the set. And then the range, that's the difference between the largest and smallest number in the set. Okay, well that's all for lesson 45.